Out of all the campaigns on Warcraft 3, I personally like Curse of the Blood Elves the least. It's fun, and I'm glad the Blood Elves have their own campaign, but the storyline seems a bit forced, and you never really get to command a normal melee map-grade force of Frozen Throne humans. This campaign essentially makes up a new race consisting of archers, elven swordsmen, engineers, etc., so it doesn't prepare you at all for playing the race the campaign is about like the other campaigns do. And when you're not exclusively controlling Blood Elves, you're controlling Naga and Draenei, two other races that are unplayable normally. There are also only 6 levels, not including the secret one, the fewest number in any campaign in the game, and as you'll see, the secrets are a bit sparse.
You have your orders, Prince Kael'thas. I trust your elven ears heard them clearly enough.
That's racist.
On this map, you might overlook this beach up here you can sail to. It's got some murlocs that drop a Maul of Strength and a rune of mana, but the real secret is in this tree. If you knock or burn it down, an albatross flies out of it. It'll drop a robe with a Magi +6, which is an incredible find for an intelligence hero on the first level of a campaign. If you can get the stupid thing to die over dry land, that is.
Mistakes were made.
There's also a moss-covered granite golem hidden over here on the southern island. It's quite a battle, but even if it kills all your men, you can just bring them back to life with the Rune of Greater Resurrection it drops. It'll also drop some +3 claws of attack. Besides that, there's a bundle of lumber hidden in this back alleyway of Dalaran you might miss. Nothing too secretive besides the Albatross Easter egg, but the side quest about finding the caches makes you have to do a little bit of detective work. Oh, speaking of the caches, the triggers indicate that they were originally magic vaults. I'm not sure if they were originally vaults left behind by the Dalaran Magi that Kael wanted to salvage, or if the Blood Elves themselves originally hid their stuff in them, but at some point they were changed to sites with just buried supplies instead. The quest icon clearly backs this up, and here I was thinking that icon was symbolic this whole time. This level is unique in that it keeps the story in the same geographic place that it left off in the last episode. Obviously there are some differences that don't make a ton of sense. How did these trolls establish a village where Kael just barely destroyed an undead base? But overall it looks like the map designers just sort of nudged the map over to the west a bit to make room for the new story elements. Looking at the map file, however, it seems that they left behind something that's outside the camera bounds. Shall we take a look? These areas are the regions that the cutscene at the end of the level plays in. It's all organized so that you can only see one area at a time. The jail entrance, the river area, the bridge, but it's all pretty close together. I had no idea how camera bounds worked until I saw this level in the world editor. There's a Hydra in this corner of the map you can access by breaking down this dam, and it'll drop a Mana Stone, a Tome of Agility, and a Ring of Regeneration. But it's basically the only secret area in this entire level. In the map file, there's one unused sound file.
They've begun their attack. We must push them back!
The disabled trigger wired to this adds the words, "to their blasted citadels," to the end of this line. It seems mainly like a throwaway line for the most part. Maybe the devs thought that the rhyme was distracting.
They've begun their attack. We must push them back! They've begun their attack. We must push them back! They've begun their attack. We must push them back!
The dungeons of Dalaran have the fewest secrets of any dungeon map so far, but probably the most secrets in any level on Curse of the Blood Elves. The first noticeable one is...
Trogdor was a man! He was a dragon man!
Okay, Trogdor, but it's an obvious reference to Trogdor the Burninator from HomestarRunner.com. It's clear that Blizzard employees really enjoyed this site. Who doesn't? As later, Trogzor the Earthinator is named after Trogdor, the ogre bodyguard of the goblin Lizaric in WoW is named Jorb, and they even thank HomestarRunner.com in the additional thanks section of the WoW credits. The items throughout the map, as well as the runes that grant you tomes and stuff, are all pretty easy to find, so I won't go into them. Instead, I want to talk about the secret level area by the sheep. I was personally pretty disappointed in how you get the secret level. It's extremely easy to find, and the puzzle is pretty easy to figure out, even if you've never heard the term before. It only takes a bit of trial and error to unlock the power-up. I wish that the power-up would have been more outside the box like it is on StarCraft II. On Wings of Liberty, you have to go into an out-of-the-way area and destroy a building to get the power-up. It's simple, but the misdirection was done very well, to the point where I completely missed it when I played through the campaign. This one, however, is pretty much impossible to miss. The sheep room is in a normal area protected by a simple gate that you're easily bound to wander into, so it's almost guaranteed that almost everyone will unlock the secret level. Anyway, there's some really weird unused triggers surrounding the sheep. Originally, they would cast spells on themselves. The inner sheep would cast Inner Fire, the blood sheep Bloodlust, and the cold sheep Frost Armor. Also, originally you could destroy the pens holding them, and something really strange would happen. Triggers would create an invisible child they called Timmy that would follow Kael around, and then the sheep would follow the child. I'm pretty much at a loss here. This is just a downright weird trigger. I'm guessing the developer, David again, had a more complete plan that was never fleshed out, and it all just seemed unnecessary and overkill for such a small part of the dungeon that was supposed to be a secret anyway. My favorite part about this level is the subtle details and the doodads. If you look closely, you can get some interesting insights into the Kirin Tor. For one thing, you can see all the strange artifacts that they've collected. Here's a bubbling fish, some bubbling pots, a pile of skulls, and even a small model of some Dalaran buildings. Even more impressive is the treasury where the Arcanite Golem is. In here are artifacts from races all over Azeroth. The Spider Kingdom, Northrend, the Burning Legion, the Tauren tribes, even plant samples from Outland, possibly obtained during the Second War. I don't know how they got stuff from Kalimdor, though. Perhaps there's more to the Kirin Tor than we think. Of course, the many horrifying experiments you encounter definitely show the wizards in a darker light. Actually, the runes to open this treasury are kind of hard to find. The other rune is found down here behind some mushrooms. The Frostworm Skull Shield, Essence of Ajun, and Shamanic Totem are all nice to have. I noticed there's a curiously modified item in the map file. The Dust of Appearance item, which normally just reveals invisible units, had its description changed to add the line, "will also reveal ghosts." This suggests that David was originally toying with the idea of making the ghostly Archmagi invisible, and you had to reveal them with the dust before you could put them to rest. An interesting idea, but a bit complex. The secret level is actually a fairly impressive attempt at shoehorning in a tower defense style map into the lore of Warcraft, though Kael'thas is obviously pretty stupid for guiding his troops through the gauntlets without regarding the towers in progressively stronger waves.
Whoever destroys the portal will be a hero.
Yeah, a posthumous award. Way to motivate Kael'thas. One thing you may not have noticed is that this observatory in the middle of the map is by no means invulnerable. You can totally destroy it if you want to, shrouding the map in fog of war. Obviously this is a stupid move unless you're an elitist when playing this level, but I like having the freedom to do stuff like this in games. If you've ever beaten all the waves, and it's not too hard if you can survive till death towers are developed, you know what the final wave is. But even if you haven't gotten to the end, it's probably not a surprise to you. Pandarans! And a Pandaren Brewmaster. I realized with the last level's sheep secret room that Warcraft seemed to shift from sheep being the secret/comic relief of the game to Pandarans in Warcraft III, and then starting with WoW, the joke race is now Murlocs, which, looking at their tiny role in Warcraft III, is pretty surprising. If you successfully beat all the waves on the secret level, your reward is the final wave Pandaren Brewmaster joining you for this map. He's obviously nice to have, especially since it makes it a 3-to-1 tug-of-war match against Maiev. Granted, she's level 10, but once she's down, it's a lot easier to take control of the wagon. That's about it for this level, but in case you're wondering, the army spawns are based on the available buildings in the cities, so if you wanted to stop Maiev from summoning mountain giants, for example, destroying her Ancient of Lore would do so. Nothing to see in this one. Move along. I always have to laugh at those spellbreakers. Look at them stupidly marching to their deaths despite their long journey to get here. It also makes the dialogue between Illidan and Kael pretty funny.
I am pleased by your people's zeal, young Kael. Your warriors are prepared to fight to the end. Their courage alone may be enough.
Smell magic in the air. Or maybe barbecue.
I can't help but wonder if this irony was intentional when the devs were making this cutscene. What I like about the final level is how well it's decorated. I like the modified doodads and the layout that make the level very Diablo-like in appearance. In essence, you're fighting through the depths of hell itself to conquer it and claim it for Illidan. I also think it's kind of funny that the Naga go through the level's sewers. It seems like an awfully convenient stretch for a world like this to have sewers and aqueducts this big with ships in them. Besides the more obvious treasure handouts this game gives, like these 6 tomes and the countless barrels and crates with items in them, there are a few areas of interest to be found. This abomination is called the Butcher, and he may literally be the Butcher from the first Diablo game. He even says,
fresh meat.
with the exact same sound file as that found on Diablo 1, and one of the items he's guarding is Wirt's other leg, which refers to the boy in Diablo named Wirt who had his leg severed by the butcher. The item itself is useless, but Diablo fans will be amused by its description. Perhaps the overzealous adventurer pried this off before his journey here, thinking it might give him one last opportunity at bovine slaughter. Little did he know where it would lead him. In Diablo 2, Wirt was found dead, and you could take its peg leg from him and combine it with a Tome of Town portal to access a hidden cow level, where you fight hell bovines. This item, being Wirt's other leg, suggests that the adventurer wanted to access the level again, and thus took Wirt's intact leg from his corpse. Perhaps this one transported Diablo's adventurer to Outland instead, where he perished in the Black Citadel. The lore questions this brings up are actually elaborated upon in the game's files, specifically in the description for this item, called simply Wirt's leg. It reads, "Could it be that a portal opened up and expelled the remains of our dearest pal from the world of Diablo to here? If so, was it a player or a demon? Just how many worlds have the Burning Legion conquered? Could the demons of the Burning Legion and those of Sanctuary be one and the same?" The mind wobbles. As far as I can tell, this item is the only one that isn't found in any of the campaigns. Perhaps it was intended to be, or perhaps it was simply replaced with Wirt's other leg to make a funnier story. There's some snowmen here behind these mushrooms, along with some gold. I actually didn't realize until now that snowmen were placeable doodads in Warcraft 3. I thought they were only part of the Azeroth Grand Prix level, but here they are in the props category of Ice Crown Glacier. Go figure. If you need even more gold, there are a couple of coins over here in this western path near the front gate you might miss. But honestly, if you keep your eyes open, get in the habit of flame striking away mushrooms, and explore the waters with Vaj, you'll have all the gold you need. There are coins everywhere. That's all for this episode of Warcraft 3 Easter eggs. Not as many as the other episodes, but I guess the addition of an entire scenario that's technically an Easter egg in itself is pretty unique for this campaign. Thanks as always for watching, and don't forget to give this video a like on your way out. So at a glance, the way the founding of Durotar is set up, with its RPG elements and everything, I don't think there are any Easter eggs in it, so I won't be looking at that. So it looks like we just have one more campaign to go. Until then, friends. Publicity for these videos is brought to you by my friends at the Hive Workshop. I'm indebted to their support and inspiration. Visit hiveworkshop.com for all your Warcraft map-making questions, to download thousands of Warcraft resources, and to meet an engaged, helpful community who loves Blizzard's games.